Have you ever wondered why some people betray the ones they claim to love the most? It feels illogical at first, but human psychology often follows patterns that are not always emotional or fair. Today, you will understand the real psychological reasons behind betrayal in relationships and human bonds. These are not excuses, but deep behavioral triggers that influence decisions in silent ways. By the end of this video, your understanding of love and trust will change completely. So watch until the end, because the final reason is the one most people never expect. And if you like deep psychological truths about human behavior, then like, share, and subscribe. Because understanding this can protect you from emotional pain in future relationships. 10. Emotional needs often overpower loyalty in human behavior. Many people do not betray because they stop loving someone completely. They betray because their emotional needs are no longer being fulfilled. Human psychology is driven by emotional satisfaction more than moral commitment. When attention or understanding disappears, people start seeking it elsewhere. This does not happen suddenly, it builds slowly over time. The mind starts to search for comfort in new emotional sources. Loyalty weakens when emotional connection becomes weak or inconsistent. This is one of the most common hidden reasons behind betrayal. It is not always about love ending, but about needs being ignored. 9. People often seek validation outside when they feel invisible inside a relationship. Feeling unseen or unappreciated creates emotional distance without physical separation. The human mind naturally craves recognition and emotional importance. When a person stops feeling valued, they start looking elsewhere for it. This validation can come in the form of attention or emotional comfort. Even small external appreciation can become emotionally addictive over time. This slowly shifts loyalty without the person realizing it fully. Betrayal often starts where emotional neglect begins quietly. It is not always planned, it is often a reaction to emotional void. 8. Opportunity plays a bigger role in betrayal than intentions do. Many people do not plan to betray their loved ones. But when the right opportunity appears, emotional weakness takes over logic. Human decision-making is highly influenced by situation and timing. If emotional boundaries are already weak, opportunity becomes dangerous. This does not excuse betrayal, but it explains its occurrence. The mind often justifies actions after they have already happened. Opportunity exposes hidden desires that were already building inside. This is why environment matters more than intentions alone. Even strong bonds can break when opportunity meets emotional distance. 7. Emotional neglect slowly creates space for replacement connections. People do not leave love immediately, they leave emotional absence first. When emotional support reduces, the heart starts feeling lonely inside the relationship. Loneliness inside a relationship is more dangerous than being alone. This emotional gap slowly becomes filled by external attention. The mind always moves toward places where it feels emotionally alive. Replacement does not happen overnight, it develops gradually. By the time betrayal happens, emotional shift has already occurred. This is why prevention is more important than reaction. 6. Human memory starts to focus on negativity when emotional connection weakens. When love is strong, the mind filters out small problems easily. But when connection weakens, every small issue feels larger and heavier. This shift in perception creates emotional justification for distance. People begin to remember pain more than happy moments. Negative memory bias slowly changes how they view the relationship. This psychological shift makes betrayal feel emotionally justifiable. The brain always tries to rationalize emotional decisions. Once negativity becomes dominant, loyalty becomes fragile. 5. People often confuse temporary emotion with permanent desire. In emotional moments, human thinking becomes less logical and more impulsive. A temporary feeling can be misinterpreted as a deeper need. This confusion leads to decisions that are not thought through. After the emotion passes, reality becomes clear again. But by then the action has already created consequences. This is why emotional control is crucial in relationships. Impulse often leads where commitment never intended to go. Human emotion can be powerful but also misleading. 4. Lack of communication slowly builds emotional distance between people. When thoughts are not expressed, misunderstandings begin to grow silently. Small issues that are ignored turn into larger emotional gaps. People start feeling misunderstood without realizing why. This emotional distance creates space for outside influence. Communication is the bridge that maintains emotional stability. When that bridge weakens, connection starts to break slowly. Many betrayals begin with simple, unspoken conversations. Silence in relationships can be more dangerous than arguments. Most betrayal comes from emotional fear, unmet needs, and the struggle between desire and guilt that pushes people to choose themselves over loyalty. 3. People change when they feel emotionally unappreciated for a long time. Appreciation is a core emotional need in human psychology. Without it, people start feeling invisible and emotionally disconnected. Over time, this emotional state creates desire for change. They begin to seek environments where they feel more valued. This shift does not always mean they stop caring. It means they want to feel emotionally alive again. Betrayal often comes from a search for emotional recognition. Feeling unseen can slowly change even deep emotional bonds. 2. Attraction outside a relationship often starts as emotional curiosity, not intent. Human mind is naturally drawn to new emotional experiences. When something feels different, it captures attention quickly. This curiosity does not always mean intent to betray. But if emotional boundaries are weak, curiosity can grow further. Emotional connection requires continuous effort to stay strong. Without effort, the mind naturally explores new possibilities. This exploration is where risk begins silently. Curiosity is the first step, not the final action. 1. The most powerful reason behind betrayal is emotional disconnection over time. When emotional bonds fade, physical presence becomes less meaningful. People do not betray strong emotional connections easily. But when connection weakens, loyalty loses its foundation. Emotional absence creates space for new attachments to form. This process happens slowly and often without awareness. By the time betrayal is visible, emotional separation already exists. This is the deepest truth about human relationships. Love rarely ends suddenly, it ends emotionally first. If you reach this point, you now understand the real psychology behind betrayal. It is not always evil intent, but a series of emotional breakdowns over time. Share this video with someone who needs to understand relationship psychology better. Comment what part surprised you the most and why it felt real to you. Subscribe for more deep psychological content that explains real human behavior.